Every struggle you face isn't here to stop you, it's here to shape you. This is not the end, this is your test. When life hits you with hardships, it is so easy to think, why me? What did I do wrong? Is this a punishment? But the truth is, most of the time, what you are going through is not a punishment. It's a test. Life's trials are not there to push you away from your destiny, but to prepare you for it. Every difficulty, every setback, every obstacle has been allowed in your path for a reason. You see, tests are designed not to break you, but to show you what's inside you. And sometimes you won't even realize how strong you really are until life forces you into situations that test that strength. Think about it. When a student goes into an exam hall, it doesn't mean the teacher hates them or wants to see them fail. No. The test is there to measure how much they've learned, to show them how prepared they are for the next stage. Life works in the same way. The challenges you're facing right now are not punishments. They are your exam hall. They are the moments where your patience, your faith, your resilience are being tested, not so that you can fail, but so that you can grow. It's in the middle of these trials that you discover your endurance. It's when you're tested that you uncover courage you didn't know you had. If everything in life came easy, if nothing ever stretched you, if no hardship ever knocked on your door, you would never grow into the person you are meant to be. The storms are not sent to drown you. They are sent to teach you how to sail. The fire isn't there to burn you. It's there to refine you like gold. And yes, tests are uncomfortable. They hurt, they make you question yourself. They make you wonder if you're strong enough to keep going. But here's the thing. You are being tested precisely because you are strong enough. Life doesn't waste tests on people who have no potential. The very fact that you are facing what you're facing means there is something greater within you that must come out. The test is the doorway. Without walking through it, you'll never reach the next level of your destiny. Now you might feel like quitting. You might think the test is too hard, too painful, too heavy. But what happens if you give up in the middle of it? You miss the reward that was waiting for you on the other side. Tests are temporary, but what they produce in you is eternal. Your character, your strength, your wisdom, these are forged in the moments of trial. If you give up, you cut short that process, and you deny yourself the victory you were meant to taste. So don't look at your challenges as punishments. Don't look at your hardships as signs that life has abandoned you. Instead, shift your perspective. Say to yourself, this is my test, and if I endure, if I stay strong, if I keep going, I will come out better, wiser, stronger. Because the truth is, the test you are facing right now is not meant to crush you. It is meant to prepare you for the greatness ahead. The hardest moments in life are often the ones that make us want to stop, to throw in the towel, to believe that maybe it's not worth it anymore. But those very moments, the ones that bring you to your knees, are the exact ones that shape the strongest parts of who you are. Character is never built when things are easy. Character is forged in the fire of difficulty, in the late nights of struggle, in the silent battles no one else even sees. When you feel like the weight is too heavy, that's when your endurance is being built. When the door you thought would open slams in your face, that's when your patience is being trained. When you keep trying and it feels like nothing is working, that's when perseverance is born. These qualities don't come from comfort. They come from the very moments that test your limits. Think about the strongest people you know or the people you admire. Do you think they got to where they are by always having things go their way? No. They were shaped by storms, by disappointments, by failures, by moments when they had every reason to quit. But they didn't. Instead, they allowed those moments to carve strength into their spirit. That's why they stand tall today, because their roots grew deep when the winds tried to break them. The hardest moments you are facing are not signs that you are weak. They are opportunities for you to realize how powerful you can become. They are the gym where your character is trained. Just like muscles are only built when they are pushed, torn, and stretched, your spirit grows only when it is challenged, pressed, and tested. Without resistance, there is no strength. Without trials, there is no growth. You may not see it now, but every time you endure a painful moment, you are building something inside you that no one can take away. People can take your possessions. Circumstances can change your surroundings, but no one can ever steal the strength of character you gain by surviving hardships. That becomes part of you forever. So when you're in your hardest moment, instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what is this building in me? What strength is being born through this? That small shift in perspective can change everything. Because suddenly, instead of feeling like life is against you, you begin to realize life is shaping you. The pain isn't meaningless, it's molding you into someone more resilient, more courageous, more unshakable than you were before. And one day, when you look back, you'll see that it was never the easy seasons that defined you. It was the hard ones. It was the nights you cried but still got up the next day. It was the failures that taught you perseverance. It was the heartbreaks that gave you empathy. It was the setbacks that taught you grit. Those moments became the foundation of your strength, and that strength is what will carry you into your future. So don't despise the hardest moments. Embrace them for what they are: opportunities for growth, stepping stones to your destiny, training grounds for your greatness. Because the hardest moments in life may break you for a while, but if you refuse to quit, they will ultimately build the strongest version of you. Sometimes we go through life thinking that our struggles are punishments, as if the universe or even God himself has turned against us. But the truth is far deeper and far more hopeful. Struggles are not punishments. They are tests. And a test is never given without a purpose. A test is meant to reveal, to refine, to elevate you to the next level. Without tests, there is no promotion. Without challenges, there is no transformation. Think about it. Every student who wants to move forward must take an exam. The exam is not there to destroy them. It is there to prove that they are ready for more. In the same way, life places you in situations that feel overwhelming not because you are being punished, but because you are being prepared. And if you can endure the test, you will come out stronger, wiser, and ready for what's next. But here's where many people lose hope. When the test feels unbearable, they assume it will last forever. They forget that tests are temporary. They are seasons, not sentences. Just as winter always gives way to spring, your trial will eventually give way to relief. The key is holding on long enough to see that change unfold. If you quit in the middle, you never discover the reward that was waiting on the other side. And let's be honest, tests are never easy. That's what makes them tests. They stretch you. They push you beyond your comfort zone. They reveal what you truly believe about yourself and about life. They expose your weaknesses, yes, but they also awaken your hidden strengths. Sometimes the very struggle you're going through is the one that awakens the fighter within you. The resilience you didn't know you had. The courage that had been asleep for years. It's also important to realize that tests are not meant to be faced in isolation. Often we feel like no one understands what we're going through. But if you take a step back, you'll see that everyone is being tested in their own way. Some tests are visible, some are hidden. Some people are battling financial hardships. Others are facing health issues. Others are struggling with broken relationships or a sense of purpose. Everyone is being tested, just in different forms. Knowing this can remind you that you're not alone. And while you are in the test, your perspective matters more than you think. If you see it as punishment, you'll feel bitterness and despair. But if you see it as preparation, you'll find strength and even gratitude in the process. You'll begin to ask yourself not why me, but what is this test trying to teach me? What is this preparing me for? That shift can change your entire outlook. Suddenly, your suffering becomes your teacher, your pain becomes your coach, and your trial becomes your stepping stone. Think about the greatest stories of triumph throughout history. Behind every hero, behind every success, there was a test. No one achieved greatness without first walking through a valley of struggle. Their victories shine so brightly because their tests were so dark. Your test is not the end of your story. It's the very chapter that will make your story worth telling. So don't give up when the struggle feels unbearable. Don't mistake your test for a punishment. It's a signal that something greater is being built within you, and that you are being shaped for something more. The test is temporary, but the strength, wisdom, and resilience it gives you will last a lifetime. There comes a moment in every test when you feel like you've reached your breaking point. It's that point where your body is tired, your heart is heavy, and your mind whispers that you can't go any further. That moment is critical, because it's the moment that determines everything. You see, it's easy to keep going when life is smooth, when there are no obstacles, when everything falls into place. But the real measure of who you are is revealed when you're under pressure, when you feel drained, when your faith is tested. That is when persistence matters most. Persistence doesn't mean you never feel pain. It doesn't mean you never stumble or fall. Persistence simply means you refuse to give up, even when every part of you wants to. It means you take one more step, even if your legs are trembling. It means you push forward, even if it feels like the weight of the world is pressing down on your shoulders. And here's the powerful truth. Often the breakthrough comes right after the point where most people quit. The gold is usually just beyond the dirt, the light just beyond the tunnel, the relief just beyond the pain. Think about a seed planted in the soil. For days, maybe weeks, nothing is visible. It's dark underground, covered by dirt, surrounded by pressure. But inside, growth is happening. And the moment that tiny sprout breaks through the soil, it is because it refused to give up under the weight of the earth. Your test works in the same way. The pressure is real. The darkness is real. The waiting is real. But if you persist, you will break through into light. Too often, people quit just before the miracle. They let discouragement win, and they walk away not realizing how close they were to their victory. I want to remind you today that what feels like your breaking point may actually be your turning point. That feeling of wanting to quit is often the sign that you are right on the edge of something greater. So instead of giving in, hold on a little longer. Push through that last mile, endure that last stretch, because the reward is closer than you think. Persistence also teaches you something about yourself that nothing else can. It shows you that you are stronger than you imagined. It proves that your limits are not where you thought they were. Every time you persist through struggle, you expand your capacity for life. You realize that you can endure more, handle more, and rise higher than you ever believed possible. And once you discover that inner strength, no challenge will ever look the same again, because you'll know that persistence carries you through. Yes, there will be setbacks. Yes, there will be days when you feel like progress is invisible. But every step you take in persistence is progress, whether you see it or not. The mountain is climbed not in one leap, but in countless small, steady steps. And every step forward, no matter how small, takes you closer to the summit. So when life presses you down, when the test seems unending, when your heart says it's over, remind yourself that persistence is the bridge between struggle and victory. Refuse to quit, even when it hurts, even when it's slow, even when you don't see results. Because persistence is the proof that you believe in the purpose of your journey, and that belief will carry you to the other side. So don't stop when it's hard. Don't stop when you're tired. Don't stop when you're uncertain. Stop only when the test is over and the victory is yours. One of the hardest parts of being tested in life is the waiting. The waiting for answers, the waiting for change, the waiting for relief. It can feel like you are trapped in a season that has no end. Like time has slowed down just to make the pain last longer. And in those moments, the temptation is always to rush, to try and force the outcome, to demand that things happen now. But the truth is, every test has its timing, and every struggle has its appointed season. If you can learn patience in the middle of your test, you will come out stronger than ever before. Patience is not simply sitting back and doing nothing. Patience is endurance with purpose. It is the strength to remain steady even when the world around you is shaking. It is the ability to trust that the delay is not denial, that just because something is taking longer than you expected does not mean it is not coming. Some of the most beautiful outcomes in life take the longest time to appear. Just like a diamond is formed under years of pressure, or a tree takes years to grow strong roots before it stands tall, your test requires time to shape you into the person you are meant to be. When you are impatient, you risk walking away too soon. You risk abandoning the process just when it was about to shift in your favor. You risk losing what was meant for you simply because you could not wait. But when you develop patience, you give space for the unseen to work on your behalf. You allow growth to happen in silence, progress to build slowly, and opportunities to align at the right time. Think about it. Every great story involves waiting. The hero doesn't arrive instantly at the destination. There are delays, obstacles, and pauses along the way. Those pauses are not wasted. They are necessary. They teach resilience, they test faith, they sharpen character. Without the waiting, the victory would lose its meaning. Without the waiting, the lesson would lose its depth. Patience also protects you from your own impulses. How many times have people rushed into decisions out of desperation, only to regret them later? Patience teaches you to pause, to breathe, to reflect, and to trust that the right door will open at the right time. It teaches you that sometimes a closed door is not rejection, but redirection, and only patience allows you to see that clearly. I know waiting can feel like the hardest test of all, because it requires you to let go of control. It requires you to believe in a timing greater than your own. But think about the alternative. If everything came instantly, you would never value it. If every struggle was solved immediately, you would never grow. The waiting adds weight to your success. It makes the outcome richer and the journey more meaningful. So in the middle of your trial, when the waiting feels endless, remind yourself that patience is not weakness. It is strength. It is not passive, it is powerful. Every day that you endure with patience is proof that you are not defined by your circumstances, but by your character. And when the breakthrough finally arrives, you will look back and realize that the waiting was worth it, because it shaped you into someone who can carry the victory with wisdom, gratitude, and strength. So hold your ground, trust the process, and let patience guide you through the storm, because patience is what turns waiting into winning. When you are in the middle of a test, one of the most important things to remember is that you are not meant to stay there forever. The test is not the end of your story, it is only a chapter. Too often when we face hardship, we think this is it, that life will always be this way, that we will always feel broken, always feel lost, always feel stuck. But tests are temporary and seasons change. What you are facing today is not where your journey ends. It is preparing you for where your journey will go. Every storm eventually runs out of rain. Every night eventually gives way to morning. Every winter eventually turns into spring. This is the rhythm of life, and your test is no different. It has a beginning and it will have an end. But what you do in the middle of it will determine how you emerge when it's over. You see, the test is not there to define you, it's there to refine you. It's like fire with gold. The fire doesn't destroy the gold, it purifies it. In the same way, your pain is not meant to consume you. It's meant to shape you, polish you, and prepare you for something bigger. The truth is, life's greatest victories are often born out of life's greatest tests. Think of every person who has ever inspired you, whether from history, stories, or your own life. None of them became great without being tested. They faced rejection, hardship, failure, and pain, but they came out stronger because they understood that the test was temporary, and beyond it was growth. And that is exactly what is happening for you right now. You are in training for the next level of your life. What feels unbearable today will one day be the reason you are unshakable tomorrow. What feels like the hardest burden now will one day be the weight that built your strength. And one day you will look back on this exact moment and realize that the test was not meant to break you. It was meant to build you. You will see that the pain you carried was the very thing that made you ready for what was waiting for you. That's why it's so important to hold on to perspective. Tests don't last forever, but the lessons they teach can last a lifetime. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. You are not being weakened, you are being strengthened. And the moment you realize this, your whole outlook on the test changes. You stop asking, why me? And you start asking, what is this teaching me? What is this preparing me for? And that shift alone can give you the power to endure. So don't let the test convince you that this is your final destination. You are just passing through. This is a chapter, not the whole book. Your story is still unfolding, and this test is just one part of it. One day you will tell this story not with tears, but with gratitude. You will use it to inspire others, to give hope to those who feel like they cannot go on. And in that moment, you will realize that the test had a purpose far greater than you imagined. So when the weight feels heavy, when the night feels long, and when the test feels endless, remind yourself of this. The test is temporary, but the strength you are gaining from it will stay with you forever. So don't give up, because when the test ends, the strength, the wisdom, and the victory will all be yours.